One of these 6 bobbers costs under $7,000 brand new and runs circles around bikes twice its price, but most riders have never even heard of it. While Harley's pushing $15,000 Sportsters, there's a handful of bobbers delivering the same style and performance for half the money. Stick around, because the #1 pick is the bike everyone test rides and walks away from for the dumbest reason imaginable. Harley-Davidson Iron 883. Let's start with the bike that proves you don't need to empty your savings for the Harley-Davidson badge. I'm talking about the used market here. A 2019 to 2022 Iron 883 is sitting on dealer lots right now for $6,500 to $8,500, depending on mileage. That's a legitimate Harley Sportster with the iconic 883cc Evolution engine, blacked out everything, and that unmistakable V-twin sound for used Honda Civic money. Here's the play. Harley built hundreds of thousands of these, which means the market's flooded. High supply equals buyer leverage. You can negotiate, be picky about conditions, and walk away because 3 more will pop up tomorrow. That 883cc air-cooled V-twin makes about 50 horsepower. Not exciting on paper, but around town it's punchy enough to feel fun, and on the highway at 75 miles per hour it settles into a comfortable cruise. The real advantage? The aftermarket ecosystem. This is the most customizable bike on this list, period. Handlebars, exhaust, seat, suspension, wheels. There are literally 500 options for each category. Because the platform's been around since 1986, every possible upgrade has been tested to death. Now, the honest truth, the stock suspension is garbage. Budget $800 for proper shocks if you want to actually corner. The 3.3-gallon tank gets you maybe 140 miles. The stock seat feels like a medieval torture device after 45 minutes. But here's what matters. Iron 883 owners don't regret the purchase. The engine's bulletproof with basic maintenance. Resale value holds better than almost anything in this price range. And at $7,000 used, you're getting the HD badge credibility without the brand tax. Honda Rebel 500. If that first bike is the budget king, this one's the reliability champion, must say again, and it costs about the same. The Honda Rebel 500 sits right around $7,099 new. And it's the bike I'd actually recommend to someone buying their first cruiser. Here's why that matters. One, most affordable bobbers sacrifice something critical. Comfort, reliability, resale value, dealer network. There's always a catch. The Rebel 500 doesn't do that. That 471cc parallel twin is the same engine Honda's been refining for a decade across multiple platforms. It makes 45 horsepower, which puts it right in the sweet spot for new riders while still being entertaining for experienced ones. I know a guy who commutes 80 miles round trip on one of these, highway speeds, all weather, 0 complaints. The engine just works. No drama, no quirks, well, you have to warm it up for exactly 3.5 minutes or it'll stall. Nonsense. The bobber styling on the Rebel is minimalist in the best way. Blacked out engine, chopped fenders, LED lighting, that low-slung solo seat. It photographs like a $12,000 custom but costs half that. And here's something most reviewers won't tell you. The aftermarket for this bike is absolutely massive. Want higher bars? Bags, a comfort seat, different exhaust? You've got hundreds of options, most under $200. Where it falls short, the tank is tiny. 2.9 gallons means you're stopping for gas every 120 miles if you're cruising highways. For city riding, it's fine, but if you're planning long trips, that's going to get old fast. Also, the stock exhaust sounds like a sewing machine. Not terrible, just polite. Budget $400 for a good slip-on if you want actual presence. But here's the thing about the Rebel that nobody talks about. Resale value. 3-year-old Rebels are selling for 85% of their original MSRP. That's Harley-level depreciation protection, which means you're not just buying a bike. You're making an investment that won't crater the second you roll off the dealer lot. Subscribe if you want more honest breakdowns like this, because we're just getting started. Yamaha Bolt R-Spec. Now this is where things get interesting. The Yamaha Bolt R-Spec at $8,699 is the bike for riders who actually care about how their motorcycle feels, not just how it looks. That 942 cubic centimeters air-cooled V-twin makes 52 horsepower and 59 pound-feet of torque. And the way that power delivers is just different. It's smooth, linear, predictable. You twist the throttle and the bike accelerates exactly how you expect it to every single time. Yamaha built the Bolt to compete directly with Harley's Sportster, but instead of copying the recipe, they reimagined it. The engine uses a cross-plane crank concept that eliminates the typical V-twin vibration at idle while keeping that throaty sound under acceleration. The result? You can cruise at 75 miles per hour for hours without your hands going numb. Your mirrors actually show what's behind you instead of a blurry mess. The R-Spec trim adds clip-on bars and rear-set pegs, which transforms the ergonomics from laid-back cruiser to aggressive sport bobber. It's a small change that makes a huge difference in how the bike handles. Lean angle is significantly better than a traditional bobber setup, and if you like back roads more than straight highways, you'll feel it immediately. Here's the catch, and it's a big one for some riders. The seat height is only 27.2 inches. If you're over 6 feet tall, this bike is going to feel cramped. Your knees will be bent at awkward angles, and after an hour, you'll be hunting for places to stretch. Yamaha designed this for riders 5'10" and under, and they weren't kidding. But if you fit the bike, what you're getting is a Japanese bobber that'll run for 100,000 miles with basic maintenance. The forums are full of high-mileage bolts that are still on the original clutch, original stator, original everything. It's the bike you buy when you want bobber style, but Honda-level dependability. At $8,699, you're paying about $1,000 more than the Rebel 500, but you're getting 50% more displacement and a significantly more engaging riding experience. Kawasaki Vulcan S. Here's a bike that most people walk right past at the dealer, and that's exactly why it belongs on this list. The Vulcan S at $7,599 is Kawasaki's answer to a question nobody asked. What if we built a bobber that actually fits different body types? They took their proven 649cc parallel twin from the Ninja 650, wrapped it in cruiser bodywork, and then did something genuinely innovative. They made it adjustable. ErgoFit is Kawasaki's system that lets you swap handlebar position, seat height, and foot peg location to match your body. 3 handlebar positions, 3 seat options, 3 peg positions. That's 27 possible combinations, which means whether you're 5'4" or 6'4", there's a configuration that'll work. And here's the thing, these aren't dealer-only adjustments. You can do most of them yourself in about 20 minutes with basic tools. That engine is the secret weapon here. It makes 61 horsepower, which is significantly more than anything else on this list. The power delivery is sporty, not lazy cruiser. You've got actual acceleration when you need it, passing on 2-lane highways, no problem. Merging into fast-moving traffic, done. This bike doesn't make you work for speed. The downside? It doesn't look like a traditional bobber. The parallel twin engine sits upright instead of V-twin angled, so the visual proportions are off if you're expecting Harley-style architecture. Some riders love the modern interpretation, others think it looks awkward. That's subjective, but it affects resale. 3-year-old Vulcan S bikes sit on the market longer than Rebels or Bolts. Also, the stock exhaust is quiet to the point of being invisible. You'll want to budget for an aftermarket system if you care about sound. But even with that upgrade, you're still looking at under $8,500 total for a bike that offers more power, more adjustability, and better real-world performance than most bobbers twice its price. If you're someone who's test-ridden 5 different cruisers and none of them felt quite right, this is the bike that might actually fit. Suzuki Boulevard S40. Let's talk about the cheapest bike on this list. And before you assume that means compromised, hear me out. The Boulevard S40 at $5,999 is Suzuki's single-cylinder bobber, and it's been basically unchanged for 15 years. That's not because Suzuki's lazy, it's because they nailed the formula. And there's no reason to fix what isn't broken. That 652 single-cylinder thumper makes 32 horsepower, which is the lowest output on this list by a wide margin. But here's what the spec sheet won't tell you. This bike weighs 381 pounds, wet, with fuel. It's feather light. That power-to-weight ratio means around town, this thing feels quicker than bikes with twice the horsepower. Traffic light to traffic light, you're gone before the guy next to you on a 1,200 cubic centimeters bagger even gets rolling. The single-cylinder design means simplicity. One spark plug, one cylinder to maintain. belt drive instead of chain, no liquid cooling, no complex fuel mapping, no electronics to diagnose when something goes wrong. This is a bike you can wrench on yourself in your garage with a basic socket set and YouTube. Oil changes take 15 minutes and cost $25 in materials. Where it struggles, highway riding. That single cylinder creates vibration at sustained high RPMs. At 70 miles per hour, you'll feel it in the bars, the pegs, the seat. It's not unbearable, but it's there. This isn't a long-distance touring machine, it's a 50-mile radius commuter and backroad carver that happens to cost less than a used car. But here's why it made the list: total cost of ownership. Insurance on an S40 runs about $300 per year for most riders. Fuel economy is 60-plus miles per gallon. Maintenance costs are negligible because there's almost nothing to maintain. Over 5 years, you'll save thousands compared to owning a liquid-cooled, multi-cylinder bike. That $5,999 purchase price is just the beginning of the value equation. If you're shopping on a strict budget or you want a second bike for quick trips and errands, the S40 is the smart buy nobody regrets. Indian Scout Bobber 60. And here's the bike that almost didn't make this list because of price. But the used market changes everything. A brand new Scout Bobber 60 is $9,499, which pushes the definition of affordable. But 2020 to 2021 models with under 10,000 miles are selling for $7,500 to $8,500 all day long. Suddenly we're back in range. That 999 cubic centimeter V-twin makes 78 horsepower and 65 pound-feet of torque, which is legitimately powerful. This isn't a beginner bike. This is what you graduate to after you've spent time on a Rebel or a Bolt and you're ready for something with real muscle. The throttle response is immediate, the acceleration is addictive, and the sound, even stock, has that deep V-twin rumble that makes heads turn. Indian positioned the Scout Bobber as their entry-level cruiser, but the build quality feels premium. The paint is thick and durable, the chrome doesn't corrode. The electronics, ride modes, ABS, traction control, all work seamlessly. You're getting big bike refinement in a mid-displacement package. The Bobber version strips off the passenger seat and rear suspension travel for that aggressive, slammed look. It photographs incredibly well. But that style comes with a real-world cost. The ride is harsh. Potholes, expansion joints, rough pavement. You'll feel every imperfection through the seat. After 2 hours on bad roads, you'll be looking for a chiropractor. Also, Indian's dealer network is smaller than Honda or Yamaha. If you live in a rural area, the nearest service center might be 100 miles away. That matters if you're not comfortable doing your own maintenance. But if you want a bobber that competes aesthetically and performance-wise with bikes costing $15,000 plus, and you're willing to shop the used market, the Scout Bobber 60 delivers. It's the premium option on this list that's still achievable if you're patient and strategic about when you buy. If I'm recommending one bike from this list, it's the Honda Rebel 500. Best balance of reliability, resale value, and dealer support. But if you want character over practicality, the Yamaha Bolt R-Spec is the emotional pick. Tightest budget? The Suzuki S40 gets you riding without compromise. Bottom line, you don't need $15,000 to get a legitimate bobber. These manufacturers figured out how to deliver style and performance without the premium tax. Which one would you actually buy? Drop a comment and let me know. And if you're already riding one of these, tell everyone what I got right or wrong.